if I hadn't have, looked after myself and found this solution, I would have still been in a very, very bad, dark place now. I'd have been getting through it, and I'd have probably spent the next 10 years feeling like I'm going crazy until I was, post-menopause. And I'm so glad that I did find that treatment, because it saved my life. I feel like it's given me my life back, and it has took 12 months, but it's the best 12 months that I've ever spent looking after me. And now I can start to live again. So I've always been into entertainment. I've always been quite, a very bubbly person, a very excitable person, a very kind of get up and go. I want to do something. I do believe that anybody can achieve anything that they want. If they want to do it, you can do it. You can become it. You've just got to really want it. So there's lots of different types of professional mermaids. There are Instagram mermaids, there's Facebook mermaids, there's mermaids you can hire. So I'm one of the mermaids that you can hire. You can hire me for children's events, kids' parties. I do swimming parties. I'm also working towards the tank shows. So I've been in the Shark Tank at the Sea Life Centre a few times. Always just about to do a show, and then my health gets in the way. So this is the year that hopefully I will be doing my first big show this year.
Oh, is that you on your bed? You had to get a belly tickle?
When I was 40, my friend passed away, and I started grieving, and the grieving didn't seem to end. I felt in sort of a depression state almost. I couldn't get myself back. I was sort of just at very, very, very low for a long time. I couldn't snap out of it. And about 6 months after my friend had passed, I went to see the doctor, and I said, look, I just don't know what's happening to me. And it was very out of character for me, and I just didn't feel good from the age of 40. And it went on for about 3 years on and off. He put me on antidepressants. They diagnosed me with depression. So I thought, okay, I know what's wrong with me. This is great. I can solve it. It's depression, and I'll take the medication. So I did. And it worked, and I felt okay, I was on them for about a year, then I came off them. And once I stopped them, I felt okay for a little bit, but I didn't feel right. I just didn't feel like me, like the old me. So it was only that a lady who I'd spoken to at work not long before had mentioned that she'd had some perimenopause symptoms, and it had got me thinking about it. I sort of Googled perimenopause, and I noticed that almost every one of these symptoms on this list I was suffering from, and it was silly things. I couldn't remember anything. I was always forgetting everything, and I just thought it's just me being dizzy, But when you're finding your keys in the fridge, something's wrong. There's things that happen, and you're like, okay, this isn't right. I didn't have any energy. My energy was at an all-time low, and it was fatigue. It was not just I'm a bit tired. It was I cannot get up off the couch. I cannot function. I have no want, no drive. I had lost my passion for everything. I decided I didn't, the mermaiding was too hard. I wasn't going to continue with it. I didn't want to do it anymore. I just couldn't. I couldn't function as a person. And I just felt like I had nothing to live for. I was crying so much, and I'm not a crier. Gaining a lot of weight. I was eating and eating, and I could not control my appetite. I was so hungry. And at night, I couldn't sleep. I was having hot sweats during the night. I'd wake up and my bed was saturated. It was like I was in a swimming pool. And my watch actually thought I was swimming one night. It actually went into swim mode and said that I was in a pool and went into water lock, because it was that. It's a saturation like no other. And this was happening a lot. And I realised when I looked at all these symptoms, the brain fog, and I thought, God, this is me. This is what's happening to me. When I spoke to the perimenopause doctor, she said to me, yep, you've got all the signs, all the symptoms, you are in perimenopause, and, we can treat this. And I broke down into tears. It was finally, yes, somebody had heard me. and was listening, and there was wow, I knew I wasn't going mad. I knew that there must be something, that I'm not depressed. I knew I wasn't depressed. I knew it was something else. And that sense of relief that comes from somebody actually saying, this is what's wrong. And yes, you can get better with medication. We'll give you this and this will fix you. The relief was just overwhelming, and it did. And yeah, I wish I'd have known that perimenopause does happen to women a lot younger than we expect it to. I know that depression from the age of 40 wasn't depression. I know that was when the perimenopause started with me. It did feel like it was my fault, that I wasn't good enough, that I was struggling, and that, oh, it must be because I'm not as good as everybody else. And it wasn't. All along, it was my hormones. So it's not you, it's your hormones. It's not your fault, it's your hormones. If I didn't know about estrogen and testosterone, and if I didn't know about that these things were available to me, and I hadn't have tried them, I would still be carrying on, just living that half life that I was a year ago. And, if I can give somebody back that passion and that lust for life, then that would be, that's the main reason that I wanted to take part in this, to help others.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sam, a GP of over 20 years and the Women's Health Clinical Lead at Bupa. Throughout my career, I have specialised in women's health, and particularly in the menopause. I'm really passionate to ensure that women get the help and support they need at this significant time. All women will experience the menopause at some time in their lives, and for most women, this is a natural stage of life. Usually happens between the ages of 45 and 55, but the average age in the UK is 51. But also she could experience symptoms in the perimenopause, the time up to the menopause, when she's still having periods, but these may become more or less frequent than before, and she may then start to suffer the symptoms of the hormones fluctuating. The most common symptoms of menopause, which I think most people immediately associate with it, are hot flushes and night sweats. And these do affect about 70 to 80% of women, but don't affect everyone. And I think sometimes some people feel that if they aren't suffering those, they can't be going through the menopause. So this isn't true. It's also not usually the most troublesome symptom. People also suffer with mood changes, and they can feel quite low or suffer with anxiety. And these are the symptoms, in my experience, that trouble women the most. Women can see a doctor at any time. You might want to just talk about what you might be expecting in the future, but you really don't have to wait until rock bottom until you do seek some support from a doctor. I've often had it said to me as well that a woman thought she needed her periods to stop before she started HRT, and this definitely isn't the case. You can start HRT in the perimenopausal period too. I love to focus on the positive benefits that menopause can bring. It's a time when you don't have to worry anymore about getting pregnant and having those horrible monthly periods. And it also gives women an opportunity to really focus on themselves, to prioritise themselves for once, and ensure that they're doing everything that their body needs to get them through this time.